Okay, the fourth pillar of integrity is healthy responsibility. And I always feel a little bit of fun energy around this because when I first learned about integrity, I literally was put in a room, and in the four corners of the room, there was a group of us in there. There was a sign hanging in each one of the four corners of the room. And one of the signs said emotional literacy, one of the signs said authentic speaking and listening, one said impeccable agreements, and one said healthy responsibility. And they challenged us, just like I did to you guys at the beginning of this training, choose the one that you think you do the best at. And then go stand in that corner of the room. And we didn't know anything about these pillars. And I'm looking around going, healthy responsibility. Yeah, I've always, my whole life, people have told me how responsible I am. And yeah, Kyle's a responsible guy. And so I go strutting over to healthy responsibility because I felt really confident about it. And in fairness, I fairly strong corner for me, but like I said before, there's a big hole in it. And so I really want you to understand that going into this and kind of use this information with yourself as you look back too. Number 20, to know how to take 100% responsibility reliably. What I didn't know going into this was the difference between 100% responsibility and 200% responsibility. That wasn't a concept I'd learned yet. So for me, 100% responsibility, oh yeah, I would walk around, no. If I could stop an argument amongst people that I cared about by saying, oh, no, that was me, I'll take care of it, even if it wasn't me, I would be a peacemaker and do things like that. So I thought I was taking 100% responsibility by doing that. I was taking way more, 100% responsibility from the perspective of integrity. Integrity, remember, is wholeness. And so 100% responsibility is I am 100% responsible for me, for the things I actually did, for the contributions I actually made. That's what I'm 100% responsible for. Anything that's not my 100% is me out of integrity. If I'm shouldering somebody else's burden or if I'm playing small and not taking responsibility for things that I did. Okay? So I can play below 100% or I can play over 100%. If I'm playing below 100% responsibility, I'm a victim. If I'm playing over 100% responsibility, I'm playing a hero. And the victim and the villain can both show up down below 100% responsibility, by the way. So know how to take 100% responsibility reliably. I thought I was awesome at that until I read the third one, but we'll do the second one. The second one, to shift from defensiveness to learning. Responsibility, like if I'm a victim and I think I need to defend myself, no matter what information you send to me, I'm going to be trying to defend against it. If I'm responsible, if I say, you know what, no matter how life comes at me, I choose 100% responsibility for everything that my choices brought me here. I own my choices. So I can easily choose learning when I'm responsible. If I'm choosing defensiveness or attack, I'm out of 100% responsibility. So this is a really short one, but it also has some very dialed in focused concepts around integrity. So if I'm at all defensive or attacking, it's usually because I'm somewhere off on the scale of responsibility. That 100% responsibility, that is integrity. Okay, number 22, to actively promote and inspire 100% responsibility in others. That was the one that was like, oh my gosh, I had been running around with my hero suit on, taking way more than my share of responsibility in business arrangements, in relationship arrangements, in church arrangements, and everything, and thinking I was, and people would say, oh, Kyle's so responsible. Yeah, I'll bet. What was true was I was operating a superhero, and this was probably one of the biggest, most difficult shifts I made in my life, was to start saying, well, now wait a minute. I'm 100% responsible for this, and you get to take responsibility for what you did. And this kind of builds on the agreement thing that we were talking about earlier. How do you promote somebody else upholding their end of the agreements? It's like, well, now wait a minute. What was the agreement? Did we establish a clear agreement? Do we have clear contracts where the terms of the agreement are spelled out? If not, do we need to make an amendment, or do we need to establish a contract? Do we need to make amendments to contracts? And then when we have it clear, when we've done a good job over in impeccable agreements, and so if we're having a hard time in healthy responsibility, if we're having a hard time promoting responsibility in others or getting somebody else to uphold their end of an agreement, it's usually because we haven't established a good agreement in the first place. So we get to learn from that. Oh, now I have a better idea of how to create agreements. I do contracts. I do certain clauses and things in contracts to make them work right. Okay. So how to promote and inspire 100% responsibility in others is to first get really clear on the first one, which is, what does 100% responsibility feel like for me, what they're doing? And then you're going to have to know how to stand your ground. And then the last one is to shift readily and easily from blame to wonder. And this is a lot like the defensiveness to learning, but it's taken it even deeper into how I communicate. So defensiveness to learning might be my internal experience. Blame and wonder might be how I'm responding outside of me. So if I'm in blame, I'm out of responsibility. I'm not in 100% responsibility. Because if I'm in 100% responsibility, I can even see clearly the portion that another person is responsible for, and then speak to them in a way that inspires them to move into responsibility. If I'm in blame, I'm not going to inspire a responsibility from somebody else. I'm going to create defensiveness. So you can see how all the pieces of all four of these pillars work together and support each other. And if you're anything like me, as I got into this, there was this like mind-blown experience of like, oh my gosh, integrity is so much more than I thought it was. Like, integrity is a big deal, and I always thought it was, but the depths and the layers and the pieces and parts of me and my inner workings and all the adjustments I never knew I could make that just promote more and more integrity, and having it broke down this way really promotes learning. That's one of the things I really appreciate about this worksheet. And it's why I'm going to encourage you over and over and over, print this off, get it physically in your space. Anytime something comes up, and I showed you guys mine, and it's sitting on my wall right behind the computer right now, and it's got things highlighted from some recent things that just tripped me up in life. Get this thing. I have another client that tells me they have it folded up and in their pocket or in the glove box of their car. I would invite you to get it as physically in your space as you can, and use it as a tool to help you stay as closely aligned as possible. Because this game, the Ascension program, is all about get as dialed in and as aligned as you can, because if all of your energy's focused and moving a certain direction, you're going to get the most results in the shortest amount of time. This is a tool for that, and it's one of the most powerful tools you're going to have, and it's going to affect every area of your life. And just get committed to being in this and learning from it. Do you guys have any questions on the responsibility? There's only 4 bullet points, and they're pretty dialed in, but is there any other inquiries that we might be able to take it even deeper? Or do you guys feel like that's pretty easy to understand? Awesome. Well, I want to wrap this training up just with the renewed invitation to make a commitment to learning around this, make all of this work in Ascension, and especially with integrity. Like for me growing up, integrity was also used as a whipping stick it kind of was, joined together with shame. And if you were out of integrity, you got shamed for it. I've had to create a whole new relationship with integrity. And it's been a relationship from a space of learning, and it's made life so much more fun and so much more fulfilling. So I invite everybody, commit to approaching this from learning. Make this a learning journey. You're not broken. You're learning all about how you work so that you can become a more advanced being. And this is just a tool in it. And so commit to learning. This is a learning journey. These tools are just to assist you on the journey, and we're going to have an amazing journey together. So thank you for tuning into this training, and we will see you on the next one.